President Trump to speak at the Celebrate Freedom rally this evening. He's going to be paying tribute to our nation's veterans. That speech expected in just a little while. And we're going to bring it to you live as soon as it begins. In the meantime, MSNBC's Mika and Joe, the center of attention this week after President Trump's tweets about the pair caused mass hysteria. The two firing back at the president through tweets of their own and a Washington Post op-ed where they once again questioned Trump's mental state. But Mika and Joe should be happy. Trump now says they're the problem. They're not the problem. NBC is. Tweeting this. Crazy Joe Scarborough and dumb as a rock Mika are not bad people, but their low-rated show is dominated by their NBC bosses. Too bad. And he also wrote, word is that Greta Van Susteren was let go by her out-of-control bosses at NBC and Comcast because she refused to go along with Trump hate. Joining me now with her take is Olympic media managing editor Katie Freitas. All right, Katie, so the strategy now seems to be we're going to put everything on the NBC brass, and it looks like he's giving Mika and Joe a little bit of an out. Do you agree?
I think this is about as close as you will ever get to seeing the president apologize to someone. He threw in a little sucker punch there at the beginning.
Right.
But then he says, it's not you that's the reason your show sucks. It's your bosses. And I think that's about as close as he's going to get. But honestly, I am team stop tweeting. I think it's unbecoming of the presidency. I think it's embarrassing. And look, he's the president. He won. There is no bigger thing to win in the world than being the most powerful person in the world.
Well,
you got that.
I can think of a few things.
But who cares what Mika says? You're president.
Well, I think,
go about your day.
I think Mika and Joe and President Trump, and before he became president, had a very good relationship. They saw each other socially. He was on their show once a week for years. He called in. They went to parties together. So I think he feels burned by these two, and he's emotional about it. Now, you made a point about, this is not presidential, and, he's won now, so he should quit. This is what the president also tweeted today about this very topic. The fake and fraudulent news media is working hard to convince Republicans and others I should not use social media. But remember, I won the 2016 election with interviews, speeches, and social media. I had to beat fake news and did. We will continue to win. So his point there, Katie, he took down the Bush dynasty, he took down the Clinton dynasty, he basically took down President Obama, he took down the fake news media, and he did that through social media to a certain extent. Why stop now?
Because he's not campaigning. Well, he'll be campaigning eventually, so maybe that's the thing. He just never stopped. He's ready. It doesn't even need to be 4 years. He's ready for the next 4 after this. But again,
but politicians are always campaigning no matter what.
Right. But if you're going to take personal insults like that, it's rude, it's petty, and it's kind of stupid. So I'm team stop tweeting about stuff like that. But who knows what his relationship with Mika and Joe is behind the scenes right now? I have no idea. But stuff like that.
I kind of don't want to know, to be perfectly honest.
I don't really want to know either. I agree with you.
He also said this, to your point. My use of social media is not presidential. It's modern day presidential. Make America great again. And I think what everybody's getting wrong is they're holding the president to other standards. He's not an aristocrat. He's not a blue blood. He's not a patrician. He's not a Bush. He's not an Obama. He's the opposite of Obama. I think we got the opposite of Obama, the cool kind of removed, the kind of professorial guy. Trump shoots from the hip. The people elected a street fighter because they wanted a street fighter. So stop holding him to some ridiculous standard and accept the fact that this is what this guy does.
Right, but at the same time, if you're running to be president and you're elected to be president, there is a certain amount of prestige and respect that comes with the presidency, and he has to respect it as well. I think
agree.
The way he tweets is unbecoming of what the president of the United States means, and he needs to keep that in mind.
I would agree that tweeting about a woman's face is not good for moving your agenda forward.
Right.
I think
no more
everybody
tweeting
on,
about blood.
I think everybody on Capitol Hill that's trying to push health care reform definitely doesn't want the President of the United States tweeting about someone's face. I think they want the President tweeting about repealing and replacing Obamacare. Also, Democrats are now grasping at straws, finding any way possible to remove President Trump from office. Their Electoral College challenges didn't work. Neither did the ridiculous Russia collusion accusations so far. So now they're saying he's mentally incapacitated. And more than 24 Democratic lawmakers are backing a bill that says he should leave office. That's more support than Kate's Law or the Sanctuary Cities bill received. Kate's Law had 24 Dems and Sanctuary Cities only 3. Completely absurd. All right, so I want to play a bit of sound because one of the Democrats who says that President Trump is mentally incapacitated famously was against putting more Marines on the island of Guam for this reason. Roll the tape.
I want to tell my son that he should never look at this president of the United States as any kind of role model. He is no gentleman, and he seems increasingly like a barbarian in terms of his treatment of his fellow citizens. So something is deeply wrong at the White House, and we hope whoever's in control over there can get on top of it and pull back from this terrible situation.
Okay, that wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about Congressman Hank Johnson. Do we have the Hank Johnson video clip? I don't. Okay.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
Okay, so that was someone who's saying Donald Trump is mentally incapacitated, saying that a few Marines on the island of Guam was going to cause the island to capsize. What do you think about all these Democrats in Congress? The impeachment doesn't work, the Russia thing doesn't work.
Right.
Now they're throwing this out there?
Well, clearly it's showboating. They know that this bill is going to go nowhere. It's going to do nothing. It's just them standing there saying, look at us standing up to the president. But I want to know, we have very little time to work on imploding Obamacare. It is collapsing. Kate's Law, as you pointed out, how have they found time to write this bill and bring it around when there's so many other important things that need to be done? With a recess coming up, there's a lot of stuff to do, and they're just going to sit here writing bills saying that the president is unfit. It's silly, and it's honestly very unbecoming of anyone who's in Congress.
I think they're just running out of bullets in the chamber. Everything they've tried, the media's tried, the Democrats on Capitol Hill tried, they can't stop the guy. All the tools that the Democrats and the media usually use to take down a Republican, the gender card or the race card, even the death card, they've been, calling for his head and everything. It's not working. So now they're playing the insane card, and I think they just played themselves. Katie, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Coming up, President Trump Live.